Can you say what's wrong with Chasca? Because when she came out, she was similar to the kit you were looking for Anemo DPSs. The biggest issue that Chasca has is that she can't really commit to one element, which kind of forces her into very non-committal teams where she's not really going particularly hard in any direction. Right? You can't do like a proper Chevaleur's team because she's Anemo. You play Chevaleur's with her sometimes anyways, but still. Um but you can't really do it like a vape Chasca because, well, only like a third of her damage actually vapes. You can't really do. There's a lot of stuff that she's not allowed to do basically because her absorption functions off of all the characters in your team instead of you choosing who it is based on an aura or something like that, right? Would Chasca be good if she had no ICD? Chasca would be really funny if she had no ICD, because imagine you go mono Anemo, swirl, carry Chasca, and you get 6 swirls for charge attack. That'd be so funny. It'd be cool if Chasca's infusion order was based on the elements, on where the elements are in your party slots. I agree. If you had more control over what happens when, it could be a more interesting character. But that lack of control effectively prevents her from like fully committing to any given direction. In a lot of Chasca's teams, her main source of damage ends up being Pyro. But it's not a large majority of her damage, right? If we look at let's go to GC Sim. Let's look at some of the sims here. You look at this one, I guess. This one's gonna have majoritarily Pyro from Chasca. Alright, but even here, it's 36k out of almost 60k. Right, so it's like a little bit over 60%. Is that with Pyro Goblet? It is. That's with Pyro Goblet. So her base output is actually lower than 60%. And about half, a little bit less than half, like a third of that pyro damage is vaped. So you can't really build EM. Right, like if you just look at the outgoing damage before the way it's affected by how you build here, right? She has how much EM? 147. So that's pyro vaporized damage, right? At 11,000. 11k. Divided by this, divided by 1.5. Outgoing, it's this. Pyro vaped. Actually, no, because that's before, that's with the damage percent. How much total damage percent do we have? Like 60, no, 35 from her passive, 15, so that's 50. Does Chainbreaker give any damage percent? I forgot. Another like 60 from Farina. She's like maybe 120-ish. 100 to 160, right? So times 200 divided by 260. Pyruvate C. Pyruvate 2. This. Hydrovate C. 100. But we don't have this. And this is 2. Do we have any other vaped damage? Yeah. The fuck is this? Burning Shadowhunt Shell. Is that the one from A4? What the fuck? There's so many things. Whatever. This is like the main thing. So then her pyro damage is 36k. Oops. So her unvaped pyro. Then we have unvaped hydro, which is this. And then you have Anemo, which is 4K. Right? So let's make a pie chart. That. Then let's check our colors. Fill, color. This is unvaped hydro. This is Anemo. There's no good Anemo color in the base colors, GG. This is Pyro. This is Hydro. This is Pyro. Yeah. Can I add legend data labels? Yeah. No. Data callout. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. So, this is her damage profile before you look at any ways things get multiplied or whatever, right? Actually, no. This doesn't get a divided by 1.5 and divided by 2. Oopsie. Okay. And this is one of the teams that focuses the most on one of her types of damage. But, like, what stat can you build that actually helps all of this? You can build crit, you can build attack, but you're already stacking a lot of attack, so it's pretty diluted. And crit isn't something you can get from that many sources. So after you've got your crit, after you've got your attack, what's left? Overall damage percent can be good. That's why Farina's pretty good. That's kind of it. If you build pyro damage, if you get EM, if you get shred of one elemental type, they don't do that much. They only affect a portion of her damage, one or two of these things, right? EM affects these two. Pyro damage affects these two. Hydro damage affects these two. And so what you end up with is a scenario where her base damage profile is pretty high, but you have a very limited amount of things you can do to increase it. Because the increases she gets from synergy with other characters are just never going to be that good. If you could choose your order, you could make it so that all this unvaped pyro damage becomes vaped pyro damage. Or all this unvaped hydro becomes vaped hydro. And then you can more fully focus into one specific type, because a larger portion of your pie chart would be from the same thing, and you'd have a new stat that affects the large majority of your damage with EM. I find it very unlikely that Chasca's ever going to get a dedicated support that's meant to encourage having multiple different elements like this. So the thing with Chasca is, like, I expect her to be the sort of character that gets better with time, but never better than the latest carry. Right? Like, sure, Inefa's good for Chasca, but Inefa's better for Flynn's than she is for Chasca. And it'll stay like that. I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way.